My name is Priscilla. Our mother gave birth to 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and I'm the second girl. As a matter of fact, our mother really trained and took care of us well. She did everything she could as a mother to provide all our needs. This was because our father died early, and since then, she had been there for us through thick and thin. For this reason, can never say anything bad about my mother in that regard. But a few things had gone on in my life that were not good, and I need to talk about them so that the right actions would be taken. When I came of age, and ready for marriage, any suitor that came my way expressing interest in marrying me, would be rejected by my mother. My mother would be nice to the man at the beginning, relating with the man so well, but after some time, my mother would come back to me to tell me that the man was not good for me, therefore I should break up with him. Initially, I thought my mother had good thoughts towards me and wanted the best for me, so any time she told me to break up with the men, I would listen and do it. This issue continued until I broke up with 6 prominent men who came my way expressing interest in marrying me, all because I listened to my mother whenever she told me to stop the relationship with them. One day, I met this contractor who expressed interest in me, and as usual of me, I took him to my mother to introduce him to her. My mother as usual was nice to this man at the beginning, but after some time, my mother called me to tell me the same thing again: Priscilla, break up with this man because I can feel that he is not good for you. However, this man took care of me and treated me well, therefore, I purposed that I was not going to lose him because my mother said so. In addition to this man had done me no wrong to break up him. So, we did everything we could, and the marriage came on successfully. I knew my mother was not happy about it because she told me something and I refused to do it, so, her attitude towards me changed, but it never bothered me much. Going forward, my mother got sick of stroke. She had BP, and through that she had stroke. My elder sister had been taking care of her, but I felt that, if my mother and sister stayed with us, I could also monitor her health as well. I then discussed it with my husband, and he agreed to it without hesitation. So, my mother and sister came to live with us. At the beginning, everything was fine, but after some time, I noticed that my sister talked to my husband anyhow without respect, and I didn't understand because that was my matrimonial home and my husband, whatever it was, she shouldn't talk to him like that. But I also realized that, when she misbehaved towards my husband, he doesn't protest, and I don't understand why it should be that way. Sometimes, when I'm with my husband and my sister called, he would refuse to pick the call, and when I inquired, he would tell it's not important, so I shouldn't think about it. Then I would forget about it. It went on this way, until one day, I heard my elder sister talking with someone on the phone furiously, so I went closer to listen to what she was saying, and I overheard her threatening the one on the other side that she would tell me everything if he doesn't do what she wanted. I got confused and was wondering whom my elder sister was talking to. Later I noticed that my elder sister was moody. When I asked her what was wrong with her, she told me nothing. That night when my husband came home, I decided to put the issues before him, that I heard my sister talking to someone and I was wondering what was going on. Just when I started talking, my husband started crying and knelt before me and said that he had wronged me and must apologize to me. Then he went ahead to tell me that he had slept with my elder sister. I was shocked to hear that and asked him why he should do something like that. He therefore told me to calm down and listen to what happened. He then said that my elder sister is threatening him, that he should come and complete what he started. If he doesn't come to complete what he started, she would tell me that he had raped her. Apparently, my elder sister said she did not get an orgasm, therefore my husband should come and make her get one. According to my husband, my elder sister had been pushing herself on him, and so one day when he was having an affair with her, he felt very guilty and stopped the act. That is why sister had been asking him to come and finish what he started. My husband then suggested that my mother and elder sister should leave the house because of what was going on. In fact, it was a difficult moment for me, because I never dreamt that such an act could occur between my husband and sister. I told my husband that I must tell someone about the situation so that whatever there is to be done would be done. So, I informed my uncle and my husband's mother and sister about it and asked them to come so we could settle the problem. When they came, my mother-in-law was so embarrassed of what the son had done so much that she couldn't even lift the head, and it was at the meeting that I told my mother about the problem that had brought the meeting. The moment my mother attempted to talk, my elder sister shut her down and said that the way my husband was able to sleep with my mother for her to be satisfied, my husband must also do the same with her. She said this in front of everybody, which meant that my husband had slept with both my mother and sister. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I felt it wasn't true. So, I asked my husband to tell me what happened between him and my mother, and he said that it happened long ago when I introduced him to my mother. My mother later called him and said a lot of negative things about me to him, and it was during one of their meetings that they had sex. Then I started wondering was that the reason why my mother had been asking me to break up with the men I introduced to her earlier? Because she never accepted any of them. Everybody was so embarrassed about the issue except my sister, who doesn't care. When I wanted to ask my mother a question about my previous relationships, she pretended to be sick. Considering the gravity of the situation, everyone said they would support the decision I would make. My husband, out of embarrassment, left the house for some time. Then my mother later told me that my husband wasn't good for me, and he was only testing him, and he failed. She then added that the man who really loved me was returning from Europe and he was coming to meet me at the house. I was there when he came, and he started encouraging and consoling me for what had happened. I was so depressed and confused. One night, he asked me out on a date, instead of me to stay at home as a married woman. Due to the challenges I was facing, I followed this man and he eventually slept with me that night. In fact, I regretted after the act and blocked his number on my phone and doesn't want anything to do with him again. Not long afterwards my husband came home to apologize to me, and I accepted him. Some few weeks later, I noticed I was pregnant. And I knew the pregnancy wasn't for my husband considering the time I slept with the man from Europe. However, my husband, being a good person, took care of me, and 9 months later I put to bed. But when I looked at the baby, I knew it wasn't my husband's because it resembled the man I slept with. I knew that I had done something bad, and that made me feel very guilty anytime I looked at the child. And all these are due to what my mother, my sister, and my husband did to me. I thought I was the only one who knew of my baby's real father. I was wrong, because lately, someone had been texting and calling my husband to tell him to have a DNA test done on the child. I nearly died when I heard that. I am in a real fix and don't know how to disclose this issue to my husband. How could I tell my husband that because of the issues, I allowed another man to sleep with me? How could a married woman do this? What should I do now? This is the true life story of Priscilla. If you have any advice, do leave it in the comments section below, and do subscribe for more true life stories. See you in the next video.